Good morning. This is Jacob Bolton, Associate Pastor of Formation here at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Alexandria, Virginia. And just like so many others, a highlight of my weekend was watching Lin-Manuel Miranda's incredible musical, Hamilton, thanks to Disney+. I had not seen it in person, though I had streamed the music after hearing about how amazing the show was a handful of years back. I remember discussing it with a friend of mine the very first time I'd ever heard of it, named Ian Rowe. He's one of the smartest guys I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Back while the musical was still in pre-production at a small little Italian restaurant named Pasticci, New York City's first ever carbon-neutral sit-down dining establishment. Ian was and still is very involved in New York City primary education and was working diligently to have as many New York City students, in particular, the demographic of students who would not have access to a Broadway show, to either see Hamilton in the theater or to have the artists actually come to the school in which they're in where they learned and have the show performed there. Who knew? 5 or 6 years later, anyone with a Disney Plus account could watch it over and over again and sing along. Now, everyone on stage in Hamilton is incredibly talented. Every song is incredible in its own right. The song that made me laugh out loud was the stunning track, The 10 Dual Commandments. Hamilton samples numerous lyrics and melodies of popular songs throughout. It's a virtual Broadway Paul's Boutique of early hip-hop. But this song took me to another level. The eponymous 10 Commandments refer, of course, to the 10 Commandments that we can find in the Bible. And for us Presbyterians, those are in the book of Exodus and Deuteronomy, which guide us on how to live our lives. Miranda has also stated that the concept for this number also stems from a song with almost the exact same title by artist Notorious B.I.G., whose real name is Christopher Wallace, also a New York-based artist, and a song of which I happen to be familiar. Now, what got me thinking was that Miranda is honoring his influence in this number, right? He's honoring his faith, referring to the 10 Commandments, his homeland's history, honoring the life of Alexander Hamilton, honoring his fellow New York City son and talented artist, Wallace. He's climbing his tree, if you will, and sharing with us the numerous influences that have helped produce his art. Now, if you're not familiar with Christopher Wallace's catalog, he does this on his original number as well, clearly referencing his faith, his artistic inspirations, in particular, New York-based Public Enemy, and even referencing the film Scarface. Wallace climbs his tree, and Miranda pays homage by climbing his as well. Now, I've probably not said anything different than what anyone who has ever reviewed the show has already said. It's incredible. Miranda and the cast blend together fantastic elements of world history and one of the best eras of hip-hop into a transformative theater experience. Yet I want to stick with that idea of climbing Miranda's tree for just a little bit longer. Miranda honors his tree and the tree of those who have gone before him by gracefully climbing it with us, referencing the people who have influenced him, citing them, reimagining them, and giving them new perspective and voice. Who are the voices on your tree? Or perhaps even better, who are the voices on the tree of the people you most admire, you most often read or listen to? Who are the voices on the tree of the people who most intimately shape your life? Those 10 commandments we were discussing before, those come pretty early in the Bible, don't they? They're foundational and are found within the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah. But let's think back even farther now. The very first book, Genesis. Let's climb that scriptural tree together to the second chapter. It's our second story of creation after God has created the earth and asks humans to care for it. The very first commandment of the Bible, the very first thing that God asks us to do is to care for the trees. The very first law, Genesis chapter 2, verse 16 through 17, God commanded the human, saying, "From any tree of the garden you may eat. Yes, eat. But from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you are not to eat from it. For on the day you eat from it, you must die. Yes, die." The very first word of law is a life-preserving instruction on how humanity should live on our resources, and how when we don't, it all turns to destruction. And so today, let's be mindful of the tree that has helped shape your life. Be cognizant, aware of the voices that you take in, the information that molds the clay of your soul, the community in which you are a part of. Reflect on the voices that shaped the people in whom you place your trust, your interest, and explore their tree. We get to learn so much from a show like Hamilton when we plumb the creative and influential spaces that help produce such a masterpiece. Who are the voices on your tree? Today, let's go ahead and climb. Much love. Hold fast.